All right, HBL see us and hear us. We were just laughing at the fact that Bud McCall's new nickname is Dead Man. Dead Man Walking.
Nope.
Dead Man Spacewalking. I don't know. You probably should just put him out an airlock at this point.
Nope.
I think so. And then Marshal's is redacted. It's not that your alias is redacted. It's that your actual alias is redacted. They just call you that. So. But hi, we are back playing some Alien. It's been a while. We had a little break, unfortunately, and we're back now. It's just like our 5th session with this. Well, 4.5 if you count like the first one being like part session 0. So we're gonna continue. We're gonna see if we could kill any more people tonight because we've already killed one, and so let's see if we can get a second or a third out.
Hasn't happened. It's not real. It's not real.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Yet.
I'm
just glad it's not me anymore.
Yeah, it's not you. No, you're here. You're good. You're captain now. You know, you got
now.
You got a lot of responsibility.
I do.
So we're down to Jen tonight. So we're gonna do our best not to make her be the one we kill. But someone's going down. I don't know who. But anyway, let's do some introductions and then we'll do a summary because it's been a while since we all played and see if we remember what exactly went down. So we're starting with good old Jeremy.
All right. Well, I'm going to be playing Marshal Law, who was an early attempt by the corporations to make a sort of like a colonial android police officer. There may have been some issues, so he's been repurposed. He's working sort of as a security officer now on the ship. He's here for you, buddy. He won't believe Chuck is the captain. And then, in the meanwhile,
thank you.
We're buddies in real life too. We've got a thing called the Pludcast where we talk about comics. PLEWD. Good times.
Nice. Before we started the campaign, I was reading a lot of Alien comics and stuff just to sort of get my mind around stuff, like to see other things that we could potentially do besides the obvious in the movies and things. And there was in one of the early omnibuses for Alien, there was like it wasn't law enforcement synthetics, but it was like military synthetics. So they had like special squads of synthetics that were specifically designed for like combat. So I feel like it's in the lore, it's there. So like I feel like there's the precedent set. So I think Marshal,
Awesome.
I think Marshal makes a lot of sense. All right, so let's move it over to Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam Rose. I'm playing Big Eugene Ellsworth, otherwise known as Biggie Frosty. And I'm a roughneck, and I like to fix things around the ship, and I like to get under people's skin to see what they're really made of. But, well, we'll see how things go tonight and see if we can get old Captain patched up and get that poison working through his blood and, get him on the mend. One thing I'd like to talk about is a preview for Divinity Unleashed. It's where Let's Find folks at Grown Perilous Studios are going to create a supplement that will allow you to specialize in magic in a basic profession, as opposed to having to wait until your intermediate profession. It's going to have new spells, a whole bunch of marks from the gods and all that stuff like that you can look forward to. And you can check out a preview here.
Perfect. And you have pets on the ship, right?
Yeah, I've got 4 ferrets. They're the body family.
Mm-hmm. Somebody, anybody, nobody. Is that right?
Anybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Somebody and nobody.
Okay.
And you see, nobody loves me, but everybody loves Clover.
Okay.
But somebody messed up her plants.
That's true.
Yes.
And somebody's in timeout.
Yes, somebody is far away from Clover.
Well, if I did listen to the final 30 minutes of the last ep, and you are still on the ship, actually. You and Veronica are still on the ship, Big E. So, like you are able to keep an eye on those ferrets to make sure they're not getting into things. So.
Oh yeah, no, I done fixed up the cage, and somebody's in timeout. I made a special section for him so that he'd have to chew his way through 2 sets of.
You should move like their cages from down in the cargo bay to Bud's bunk because there's room now, so it should be good. You'd be nice and closer to that.
Not yet, but
Not yet.
Actually, you can move it to my old bunk because now I'm moving to the captain's
There
bunk.
you go. There you go.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you saying we're not going to be bunkies anymore?
there's enough room in the captain's quarters. I guess we can put a bunk bed in there.
Weird.
Yep. Yeah, just talk like it's not here. Just I don't know why Matt keeps showing up for the stream. His character's been dead, bro. All right, let's move over. Melissa, who are you playing?
I am playing Ada Clover. She is the scientist on board. She does a lot with plants and genetics and all of that kind of stuff. So she was quite devastated last session to find a lot of her stuff chewed up and whatnot, and wants to get that back together. Her buddy is Veronica, and if it wasn't already, I would have changed it after last session. Her rival is Biggie.
Right. What was I going to ask about Clover? So Clover, I can't remember. Like Clover is like a scientist doctor, right? Like academics or something like that. So like you're basically like white collar, like highbrow. So how do you think Clover managed to get in with these like blue collar knuckleheads? How do you think that happened?
She doesn't look like she is put together. She's not generally physically put together or mentally put together. She's fairly scatterbrained, so she's intelligent. But on any given day, I mean, she's going to have, stains on her coat and, doesn't really look like a comb has seen her hair in the last week. So she definitely doesn't put on airs.
Okay.
She knows she's smarter than everybody, but she doesn't really,
Okay, it's a little bit like the absent-minded professor type of shit.
Definitely. Yep.
All right. Let's move down to Captain. Well, the former Captain, Mr. Bud McCall.
Yes, I'm Matt. I'm playing Bud McCall. I am not dead yet. Do not discount me just yet. I will be around for this whole campaign. Stop that.
I mean, you will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Stop that.
I mean, you just say the word Cap. I'll do what needs doing.
Thank you. Thank you, Marshall.
So what do you got to plug, Matt?
You can catch me over on the Free League channel, twitch.tv/Free League Publishing. Tomorrow, to celebrate the release of the alpha for Twilight 2000, we have Thomas Herenstrom coming on in the morning for a Q&A, and in the evening, we are doing a live play of Twilight 2000.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, looking forward to that. All right, and over to Chuck.
That's me.
Captain Frenchie.
Captain Frenchie. Yeah, I'm playing Frenchie, the former pilot, now captain. Reckless, good at flying the hot pocket. And yeah, you can find me over at twitch.tv/Defenders of Cobalt. Also, every now and then on Free League Publishing and Goodman Games Official. And we got some zine stuff out too. You can check out. We got a new one coming out here in a couple of weeks. It'll be good. Yeah.
All right. And I'm Jeff, and with Melissa, we do this whole Adventures in Lollygagging thing. So we play on this channel mainly, but we also show up on Free League Publishing, and you'll see me at least from time to time with Chuck as well over on the Defenders of Cobalt. He lets me sit in with some of his games. This week we've got Friday. We're trying out another industrial sci-fi game here on this channel. We're trying out Those Dark Places, and I think Saturday we're trying to see if we can pull off Mutant Year Zero in the afternoon. So we'll see. Let's just come back, and then there we go. Matt's got a copy of it. I don't know where mine is. It's somewhere around here, but we're giving that another try.
Trying this.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna give it a run on Friday. All right, so let's dive in. So you guys started your second job in our last session, so you're all members of the Cleedy Sinum, and you're sort of you don't work for Weyland-Yutani necessarily, but they own the rights to your ship. They own its lease, and so from time to time they call upon you to do jobs, and if you don't do them, they threaten to pull that lease. And the first job that you had was one such mission where you were delivering various colonists and other equipment to a planet well out in the middle of nowhere called Tanaka 5. And there you had a strange run-in with some Weyland-Yutani mercenaries who recovered these mystery crates from your ship. They didn't really give you guys any trouble, but they did give the local person who was with you a lot of trouble as they shot him in the head and killed him. Y'all managed
Just a little bit of trouble.
A little bit. Y'all managed to get off the planet relatively unscathed, except for Captain Bud getting stabbed by this scorpion-like creature whose poison is coursing through his veins from time to time. Still, his temperature is elevated, and we'll see whether or not that goes away. But you all got another job, and you wanted to get the hell out of Dodge as best as possible. And you picked up a gig with Hyperdyne Systems. Hyperdyne Systems is a subsidiary of Weyland-Yutani, who is known for making synthetics. Earlier in the campaign, there was a story that was going around because there was a bunch of Working Joe, Seeks and Biotech Working Joe androids that had kind of gotten hijacked en route to their location, their destination. And so Hyperdyne is picking up that contract. The missing, because wherever those Working Joe androids were supposed to go, they never actually got their synthetics. And so now Hyperdyne is stepping in to fulfill that contract. They need somebody on short notice and who is at least somewhat willing to work for their overarching parent company to come pick them up and deliver them. And so last episode, you arrived at that very place. And so we specifically are on GL488J-A, which is a moon of a planet known as Ajax. And you are heading to a Hyperdyne Systems factory. Now, when you arrived, there was another ship in orbit called the Radamanthus, who, through some communication with Frenchie, you learned that a shuttle had gone down to the surface, but had not come back up. And apparently, the people down in the compound for Hyperdyne were being a little, no one was allowed to go down. Like, there was apparently like a lockdown. You're not allowed to land. You're not allowed to come out. But once you all identified who you were and talked to the folks down on the planet, they let you through, no problem. So Frenchie took the ship into Atmo, landed on one of the different landing pads, and you met at your landing pad two people. You met Murphy, who was a quartermaster woman who did not get along with Big EE, and you met Paul, who is a android synthetic model designed by Hyperdyne, who is sort of there as well. The planet itself, while it has some element of atmosphere, you don't want to be without your suit for very long. And so there's a lot of protocols that you have to follow. There's these long tunnels that connect the various sites, the landing pad to the compound and other places. And so where we last left off, I'm going to go ahead and move us over. If you all want, in Foundry, you can switch over to the Hyperdyne outpost if you want to see the map of the planet that we're on. And I'll do it on the overhead screen for everybody. But you all landed well over here in the landing pad C, and everybody with the exception of Big E and Veronica hopped on these sort of high-tech golf carts and began to travel towards the Hyperdyne compound. Big E and Veronica hung back in the Kalidi Sinum, and as we were getting ready to sign off, they had some weird static that started coming through on the radio, and they got a signal. Do you remember what that signal was, Big E? You were the one who actually got it, you and Veronica. Do you remember what that was?
No, Mother, I don't remember that signal. Could you
It
remind
was
me?
an SOS. Someone was tapping out in Morse code SOS.
Oh,
And that's where we ended. So, unless there's questions, that's where we're going to pick up. So, we're going to start right there in the ship. Big E, you and Veronica are sitting there. Veronica is eating a sandwich, so she can't talk. And you get this signal. You take a few moments, and you realize after a couple minutes that it's just a constant repeating SOS, SOS. It's very staticky. It's as if the signal's not very clear at all. It wasn't easy to kind of get through all the different chop and kind of clean it up, but you're very certain at this point it's SOS. What would you like to do with that information?
I'd like to see if I can get on like any sort of like walkie-talkie or anything like that we may have. If we do,
Yeah, you all have personal comms, so you can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Hey, Frenchie.
I got you, Biggie. What's going on?
I don't know why I'm whispering over walkie-talkie, but it felt like the proper thing to do.
Listen, if that's how you're coming in, I ain't gonna argue. I'll go with it.
All right. We got some SOS on the Morse code over some frequency here, and it was breaking up quite a bit. Like I almost thought it was SGS, but then the signal came back through a little bit more clear.
Did you tell if it was coming from planet side or off the rock?
Hold up.
So
Hey, how do we do the thing where we calibrate which way it's coming from? You know,
you can roll Comtech. I should also remind everybody on the golf carts. Everyone's with somebody. So like Frenchie, so we'll say like Frenchie and Clover are probably on one of the golf carts with Paul, the Hyperdyne synth that's driving, and then we'll say that Bud and Marshall are on the other one with the quartermaster Murphy, who was a relatively friendly person until Big E and her started talking, and then they got angry about 3-point turns. So at you, Frenchie, at you kind of communicating with Big E, saying, "Can you tell if this was, on surface or in Atmo?" Like you can see that Paul looks over towards you and just like, "Is there a problem?"
No, my mechanic's just picking up a strange signal. We're trying to figure out if it's our sensors or something else.
Oh, how very
It's been on the
curious.
fritz, so it's probably just the sensors. He didn't do a good job of fixing anything.
Would you like me to send a repair crew to your ship?
No, he needs to get paid for doing something. So, but I appreciate the offer. It's very kind of you.
We will look
Oh.
into the signal when we return to the compound.
He takes a lot of pride in the work that he does, so I don't think he would need anyone else to come and fiddle with anything. I think he'll be good.
consarn it all.
I'll try to keep Paul engaged so that if Frenchie wants to try to quietly continue to have a conversation, that maybe
Okay.
Paul will not be able to listen to both at the same time. So
Okay.
I'm just going to be word vomiting just to be a distraction.
Fair enough. So you hear on the horn there, Frenchie, probably a little too loud to the point where it hurt your ear. Big E just cursing.
Consarn it all. It's all ones and zeros, and I get 0, 0.
Yeah, you're unable to distinguish where it's coming from, unfortunately.
Well, we're going to, Biggie, we're going to take a look, see if we can pick that up once we get to the base. I'll let you know what we find.
All right. Well, I mean, let's think this out, okay? So like, people up out in space, and they're like, "Hey, something weird's going on," and then we got a foreman that don't even know how to turn to the right when you're walking backwards. In a power loader 5000, and now we got this SOS signal. I something's up. Something is up, friend.
Yeah, I think you might be right that maybe just our comm relay is going south on the ship there.
Huh?
I'll have to patch that up when I get back. You might ping the captain and let him know that the radio's still messed up.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Paul will say, I shall make a note, and I shall inform Executive Sprague that you are having communication difficulties. He will want your ship to be in tip-top shape before sending our product with you.
Well, if that's what we got to do, that's what we got to do. It's all got to go through the captain, though.
Of course. And so over in the other golf cart, do you ping the captain, Big E?
Yeah, I'm like, "Hey, Captain, if you can hear me, don't say nothing, just cough."
See,
Oh,
I
it's
told
the
you he's
Rona.
dying.
It's the Rona.
It's that scorpion venom.
All right, here's what's going on. We got an SOS signal, and I tried to figure out where it was coming from, but I couldn't because it's all ones and zeros, and I got all zeros. I don't know if you know what that means, but anyways, couldn't figure if it's on the planet, in the planet, or outside of the planet. There's an SOS signal, and I think something's up, because like we could land when the others couldn't. They heard wrong that didn't have any landing pads open, and then come down and ask a very simple question that everybody who's ever driven a power loader knows.
Just
She doesn't answer it. That's really that. I wouldn't say that that's just a bit suspicious. I'd say that that's a mite bit suspicious.
so a note on the landing pads. They apparently there was this, they said that there was damage to one or some of them that needed to be repaired, and that's why you weren't they weren't accepting other people.
Right. Adam remembers that.
I was wondering.
Eugene doesn't.
Okay. So Bud, do you say anything back? Meanwhile, like the woman's driving, she's next to you. She's kind of this, is sort of, short, stocky. She's got a lot of clothes on, kind of bulky. You're all wearing enviro suits and everything, and she's just sort of, kind of talking your ear off. And all she's been doing the whole time is complaining about, like it's just Big E. It's just like I can't, I just wanted to know, where, what was going on, if there's enough room and such. And he just, of course, I know how to do this and that, and it's the whole time. And it's a good, like, you're talking like a 20 to 30 minute ride.
I know. I mean, I don't understand why, but some people just look for problems, create them even. He's supposed to fix problems.
Well, there wasn't one when I got on board, but I mean, don't worry. I'll be the bigger person. I'll be the bigger woman, and I won't say anything to Executive Spratt about it. No problem. It's fine. I just think maybe it's better if I just deal with either of the two of you, as opposed to that that thick-headed son of a gun. I think that
That's
might
all
be
right.
better.
The captain, he's a good man, and Big E, if nothing else, takes orders. So sounds like a good plan.
So I just wanted to make sure that you had the the proper equipment to carry the cargo in good working condition. But it's everything seemed on the up and up. I don't suspect any problems. So you doing okay there, Marshal? I know because you don't have obviously a suit on. It's cold. Like you can tell that it's cold. It doesn't bother you or anything, but you can tell that it's very cold. And you all are traveling in this like really long underground tunnel. It's got lights every so often, like really emerge, so that you can kind of see the track along the way. But she's just sort of checking in, like any problems, you just let us know, all right?
Of course.
We care about all types of life, even artificial like yourself. No problem. All right.
Okay.
Can Clover try to, without being noticed, see if she can pick up the signal on, like the local comm device or anything?
Okay, yeah. I mean, presuming that Big E has sort of notified everybody, which he could have done. Yeah, you can go ahead and try to roll contact, I would say. I'm gonna want, because you don't have access to the ship systems or anything like that, I'm gonna want 2 successes though.
I'm just gonna, when Biggie's done talking to me, I'll just like cut off communications. I won't say anything. I'll
Okay.
keep with his request to stay silent.
Okay. Do you want to push that, Clover?
Yes.
I do?
Look at all those D6s you got.
You got 10 dice, of course. You got this. Take that.
I don't
take
even
that
remember
stress.
what happens.
You take a stress. There you go.
All right.
Okay. You can tell that it is most certainly a local signal. It is not in Atmo. It is somewhere on the surface. It's east of you. You can kind of tell. You would probably need to use some bigger equipment other than your personal comm unit to kind of track it down. But you can tell it is east of you and on surface, not far away. So your personal comms have only a certain amount of range on them, and it's
Sure.
within that radius. So we're talking like within a few miles. Like it's like that short of distance.
So I'll try to call up to Big E. I'm trying to think of what I want to say.
Okay.
So something that's going to be so she's gonna call up to him and be like, I know that I was pretty upset about the whole somebody thing, and um, just wanted to say that, I think the air between us is fine. I think we've cleared the air between us. I think we're good. And I gotta tell you, if you were here, I think you would really enjoy the vista that I'm looking at here on the ground. I think you might enjoy it if you were down here. But, you know, I think we can let bygones be bygones.
Oh, shucks. Thank you. All right.
Paul leans over to Frenchie and says, "Is it common for humans to enjoy long, dark tunnels like the one we are in? This is not, as I understand it, a spectacular vista."
You know, a good doctor here has just got a great enjoyment of different kinds of architecture, especially utilitarian.
Hey, so I ain't seen nothing like green in a while. You know what I mean? Like they got trees there, or bushes, or flowers, or something.
I want to nudge Clover a little bit and just put my hand like over my head.
Yeah.
It's just over.
And there you go, just being dumb. I try to reach out,
Wow.
and you just
What?
you gotta, and I'm just gonna turn off the comm.
Okay.
What?
All right. So
I mean, I should probably know if it's this cold, they're going to be pine trees. I shouldn't have asked. I'm sorry.
yeah. All right. So
My comm is off. I don't know,
so
I don't
he's
know
just,
if you noticed.
I think Biggie probably
No,
doesn't.
he doesn't notice.
It takes him like 5 minutes maybe before he realizes that no one's responding to him. But eventually, those in the golf carts, you make it to the compound. They park these two transports into these little nooks. They plug them in as if they need to recharge. You can see that there's like almost like an airlock process here. It's where they go in and they kind of decompress, take off the enviro suits, and then they let you into the main compound itself. There's a couple lockers and such where like they hang up a variety of enviro suits and other equipment. But eventually, all of you are let inside. You get this sort of wash of kind of warm, stale air coming through you, and as you start to climb up these metal stairs, like you're at the bottom, like the basement of a very large building, so to speak, and you're just climbing up these metal stairs, and there's kind of lights flickering here and there. But they lead you into what looks to be it almost looks like a college dorm, if any of you are familiar, as you wander into like the ground floor, as you go up a flight, like you're in the basement area, and you're let out through this side door. You can see that there's like vending machines, pool tables, ping pong tables, arcade games, all sorts of different entertainment devices. You can see that there's like a small like little wet bar with like a metal one of those metal grates covering it, and a little master lock with a key and everything that's kind of kept in place currently. When you come inside, you can see there's a handful of fans that are slowly circulating, and when you walk in, there's a couple tables as well, couches, stuff like that. You can see stairs going up. You can see another doorway that seems to head into like a kitchen area, and the only additional people that you see are sitting at a table, and around that table there are 3 people, one of whom looks like kind of a young, slender, kind of clean cut man. You would probably put him in maybe his late 20s or 30s. There is a woman that looks much older, probably in her 60s or so, kind of got like this sort of frizzy, half black, half white hair, kind of like a salt and pepper thing going on. And she's smoking like this really big cigar. And then there is another woman who is a little bit shorter, also young, pixie cut, wearing kind of coveralls. And they look up from what what they're doing, and you can see that the older woman gives you all a once over, like with a little confused look on her face. kind of like one at a time, and then the younger guy kind of looks pissed all of a sudden, and he gets up. Just what in the hell is going on here? Who are these people? And the quartermaster's like, now, Mr. Rutland, they just arrived. The separate business. It's got nothing to do with you. Just Mr. Sprague will be with you. And he just kind of goes into this tirade about like, who the hell are these people? He's been waiting for days. What the hell's going on here? And the whole time, the pixie cut woman has like a knife out, and like they have cards on the table, and you can see that she's just sort of cutting the edges off the cards with a knife, just almost like she's peeling an apple and just like making these little strips of them and piling up. And the quartermaster kind of ignores what Mr. Rutland says, turns to you and says, I am going to go inform Executive Sprague that you are here. If you all make yourselves comfortable, you are welcome to use the facilities, and you're welcome to whatever kind of refreshments you want, and the kitchen's yours if you like it. And at her being so nice, you like Rutland's like, what is this? Is ridiculous. The ICC will hear of this, how you have treated one of its representatives. This is absolutely untoward. This is just another, and you can see he pulls out like a little clipboard and marks something down. This is just another demerit against you is what this is. And she just sort of shrugs and moves away. What do y'all want to do?
I definitely will let Captain take lead, and I'll step just a step behind him and kind of observe the room, investigate slightly, if you will, just to pick up if there's. This feels weird.
Yeah. I wanna go over to that guy that was just with the talking about the demerits and stuff, and just kind of for him go, hey, I know it's none of my business, but what was that all about?
He kind of looks at you, pissed off, and his anger is now is onto you at this point. I'll tell you what it's about. I've been waiting here for days to complete this inspection. I should have been here and gone. This was supposed to be a 72-hour wake-up mission. I've been here already in this particular dormitory, if you can even call it that, for almost a week. This is absurd. This is ridiculous. They won't even let us contact our damn ship.
Your ship's in orbit right now?
Not mine, hers. And he points to like the kind of the gruff, older looking woman. And but yes, they were escorting me. We're on official Interstellar Commerce Commission business.
I'll ask the gruff woman. So y'all trapped down here?
And you can see this, like, she's still playing cards despite the fact that there's one other woman at the table who's carving them up. And the other person who was in the game just got up and is now yelling with Bud McCall. And she's still, like, just going through it. She's kind of moving the cigar back and forth in her mouth. She's like, yep, that's about right. And she puts a card down and just sort of pulls this big pile of chips towards her. No one stops her. It's just chips, just basic plastic chips. Mm-hmm. Yep, been here, I don't know, 5 days? 4 maybe? I don't know. Can't really count.
Did you all pick up any strange SOS signals?
No, we ain't been able to use her. Get a signal. It said something about atmospheric conditions not being nominal for communication or some such. Apparently, the executives got some kind of stronger radio or whatnot, but as of yet has not allowed us to use it.
That's suspicious. They got any kind of terminal down here I can get access to?
She kind of looks around like, well, there's them video consoles over there, and I think the kitchen's got something, but no, I don't see nothing like, nothing with base access or anything. And right. There's the dorms they got us in upstairs. Well, you can tell they had some personal terminals, but well, mine's broken, and Rudy's over there. Don't call me that. Yeah, well, Rudy's over there. I don't know. His The display doesn't seem to be working right. I mean,
Right.
they're feeding us and everything. It's fine, but like, I kind of am anxious to get back to my ship.
All right.
Clover will meander over and ask which of the women is Hazel.
I'm Hazel, the older woman. Yeah? How you know my name?
We actually had contact with your ship before we came down.
They still up there? They all right? They waiting?
Yeah, they seemed perturbed by the fact that they had been told that there were atmospheric issues and that they weren't going to be able to land, and then we were able to.
Yeah, it's a bit curious, isn't it? They just let you down like this. They were saying something about we can't go out and see the shuttle even because something about meteor shower did some damage.
We just came from the landing pads. There's nothing like that over there.
You see my shuttle, little one?
What pad was it on? Would I have seen it?
You would have seen it at a distance. There's probably about 100 to 200 yards between each of the pads, so you would have seen it at a distance. Much smaller than your ship. It could fit basically in your ship if you wanted it to. It's really just a transport ship. You can roll a retroactive observation if you want.
Sure.
All the while, like that Paul. I almost said David again. Every time I talk about synthetics, I just say David for some reason because of the stupid Prometheus. But that Paul model is is just basically is kind of coming. We will yes, very sorry about the damage to your ship. We have a crew working on it right this moment. So you didn't, first of all, I would say you didn't notice from what you could see of the pad that you all landed at, landing pad C. You didn't see anything that would suggest damage. It's hard to tell because you never were on the pad itself. You just kind of went underneath pretty quickly. But from what you saw, you didn't really see anything to suggest damage. And you saw the shuttle coming in, and there was nothing massively wrong with it. It's still possible that there could have been something wrong with it, and like they've fixed it since then. But you most certainly didn't see anyone working on it. You didn't see anyone on the pad for sure. Like you're 100% on that.
If I get a moment of privacy without not
Paul.
David being there, I'll share the information
Okay.
with Hazel.
All right. She kind of looks you up and down. Well, all right. That's I'm kind of constantly moving that, like she's basically chewing on it at this point. That's a bit strange. And they just let you all down, like no problem.
Yeah, I have a feeling they're not going to let us back up, though.
Oh, that is absolutely absurd. Of course you're going to leave. You have cargo to deliver. He's coming
Stupid
around,
Paul.
and he's like pouring glasses filled with like some dark liquid. Like, here, everyone have some refreshment.
I'm not going to say I'm going to pass on it, but I'll just pick my glass up and then go set it down somewhere else nonchalant.
Okay. You do notice, for what it's worth, you do see the woman Hazel. She picks it up and she starts drinking. Like,
okay,
just fine. And there's like plates of food that have been recently eaten as well.
Okay.
We're not desperate yet.
Not yet. No. I'll go relay my information to the captain.
Okay.
Once he's done getting yelled at.
Yeah, I mean, you can time some things so that like Paul's out of the room here because he kind of goes over towards the kitchen, comes back, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do that when
Okay.
we get a moment where we won't have
Yeah, no problem.
Paul listening in.
No problem.
I'll convey.
Yeah, I don't like this. There's more going on here than NCI, but is it our business? Do we just get our cargo and get out of here?
Oh, you're not getting that cargo. Like this is
Where did he come from?
this is not Paul.
Oh.
This is Rudy, who's like was near you, and he's like, no. There is nothing leaving this planet until I actually get to inspect that factory. Absolutely, I will not allow it, as else it will be demerits against your ship, and definitely even more against here. You'll never be allowed to fly and carry cargo again. Absolutely
you
not.
don't even know what our ship is.
It's not against your
Rudy.
ship. I have nothing against... Don't call me Rudy. It's Mr. Rutland to you, please. You're probably like twice his age.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Rudy. Did you ever stop to think that maybe we're all prisoners here now?
Stop to think. I've been here for 5 days, 6 days. I don't know how long it's been. That's all I've been able to do is think.
So maybe you should worry less about your inspection and more about getting off this rock alive.
Well, I don't think it's quite that dangerous. If they wanted us dead, they wouldn't have fed us and gave us... No, they're hiding some sort of malfeasance at the factory. They're breaking protocol. They're trying to cover up some sort of violation, and they don't want me to see it. That's clearly what it is. And once they're done with whatever kind of cover-up they're doing, at either here or at the refinery, then I'm sure everything will be fine. Just getting off this rock. Don't be ridiculous.
Captain, what about... Did you get a message from Big E like I asked him?
Yeah, I did. I didn't say anything because I didn't want them to hear me, but something about an SOS. Do you know any more about that? Did it come from planet side? Is it that ship out in orbit?
Clover, you were able to find something on that, right?
Where's Paul?
Hmm.
Is Paul out of the room?
So right now in the room, you have Hazel, the woman who is sitting down next to the other woman who's stabbing cards, and standing next to Bud is Frenchie and Mr. Rudy. Doesn't like being called Rudy. And then the rest of you. But you don't see... Paul had gone into the kitchen.
Okay, then I will give the update that the best that I could do on my little comm device was that it's planet side off to the east. I attempted to relay that to Big E with Paul listening. I don't think he got it, but maybe he did. But I don't think he got what I was putting down.
So if it's planet side, and we know that there's no communications off this planet, but they mentioned that you have to get into an executive area to get to the stronger radios. That means somebody, probably one of these people, have accessed it.
20 minutes later. Oh!
So, as you try to contact them, Biggie, you got nothing. Nothing from them. It's 20 minutes later. Like you said, you've tried to reach out. No response from anybody.
Shit. Well, I think she was trying to tell me something.
Hooty hooty hoo.
That's what I'd like to think you were having a conversation with
Well, I mean,
Veronica, and she was
Eating a turkey Lego.
hey, Mars Bar.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think of this. Cover is all telling me that the view was really good, like a view out east or something like that.
So,
Like, I think
well,
they might have.
is it?
Well, I think they might have had some sort of like underground terrarium or something, or terra aqua. Yeah, terranarium. And but I don't think that they're gonna hollow out this moon and start growing a bunch of trees and all that.
So, what the
so
hell are you
maybe-
saying?
I'm thinking we all look to the east.
All right, we
Always
got
to the
windows,
east.
don't we? Sensors and things. Hooty hoo.
So I'll look out towards the east.
Okay, so you look out to the east and you can see in the distance, it's kind of a, it's not an easy view. Like it's kind of almost looks like snow, but it's not. It's more just like kind of blowing dust, but it's like white dust. There's sort of a blue-white feel to the entire moon. But you can see that to the northeast of you, or so. No, I'm sorry. To the southeast of you, you can see like there's a ship on one of the other platforms. You can see a third platform also has one that's a little bit further to the east. It looks like some kind of you would have seen these. It's like an in-atmo cargo flatbed loader. It's like a really long thing. It's usually used to go from either one location to another on planet, like distant locations, or from Atmo to from surface to Atmo, and like delivering big cargo. You can see that as well. So all three of the landing pads are filled up currently. You don't see anyone out there, anyone operating it. There's a couple little buildings around the landing pads themselves. Further to the east, in between kind of like this sort of like this foggy wind, you can see probably the central compound. You would imagine is a big old satellite dish sticking up out of the top of it. It's a couple stories high, not huge, maybe about 2-3 stories high, and then the massive dish on top. And then just behind it, you can see a scattering of like some mountains and such. Off to the north, there's more mountains, but it is a desolate, ugly looking place. There's nothing particularly beautiful about this place.
Well, hooty hollering who? I think we gotta.
That's what I
and-
said.
Yeah. So I think we ought to suit up and go and check out what's to the east.
Do you have suits left?
I have one.
You have one? Okay. I don't think there's one for Veronica, though.
Nope.
I think, because I think you guys have 4.
Yeah, I have one personally. Like,
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
my
So,
own.
I mean, we can either just say she hangs back on the ship and keeps the fort down and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing.
Let's just do that. Yeah. Okay. So you can, so you suit up.
Nothing ever bad happens in Aliens when you go off on your own.
No, especially
Or in any game. Ever.
Yeah, on an alien planet. You'll be fine.
This is a good idea.
This is
It's a great idea.
This is absolutely fantastic. So you didn't go with them. So you didn't necessarily see how they got under, into the tunnel. So when you go ahead and get in your gear and get in your get up, you go out the bottom of one of of the ship, because you're in your cargo bay. You have like these side loaders, and you walk down, close it back up. You look around, and it's just like a flat landing pad made of like concrete and metals and such. And there's a couple little sheds here and there. There's a few lights that aren't currently lit that surround the pad itself. And there doesn't seem to be any clear way down.
Huh.
Roll an observation test.
That's a regular Houdinis.
You say it yet? She says. And you do. You eventually walk over. There's a section just off the landing pad. There's like this little platform. You go up to it, and you realize that there is like this small, like mailbox sized console into the ground. You go up to punch in a couple digits, and you have a display, and you realize that there is like kind of a risen platform here, almost like an elevator in the ground that pops up and lets you hop down the stairs into this long tunnel. And you realize there's no golf carts on this side. So on the bright side, it's a very clear way to go. It's just going to take you some time.
Well, now, but this is going underneath the planet, right?
Yeah. You're going into the tunnels that they took to get from the landing pads to the main compound.
Right. So if I was told to look east, though, I'm going to assume that I'm looking east on top of the planet.
Yeah,
So
on the
you could do
surface.
that before you go down, and if you look east, you're going to see. So like I'll ping on the map for you, but like you're standing right about where I just pinged, right on the sea on the map, and if you look east, you're basically looking towards that radio tower.
Mhm.
You can kind of see it. It's a couple miles away.
So B and A are the other ships.
BNA or the other landing pads, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not perfectly to scale, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. I think I'm going to walk over to B first.
Okay. Yeah, so you start heading over to B. No problem. I'll say for the first little while, you move along. There's no path between them. Like there's no like there's no like actual road or ship or anything. Hey, friend, how's it going, man? But it's level enough land that it's not a problem. But you get over there and you can see that there is a shuttle. If you want to try to identify it, you can go ahead and roll a piloting test.
All right. Well, I know it ain't no Hot Pocket.
It is not a Hot Pocket. Okay. Okay, yeah, you got it. So yeah, when you look at it, this just looks to be kind of a refurbished kind of Star Shuttle. It's a Star Shuttle cab. So it's basically like an old cab. And it's sort of made it so that it can go. You would imagine it doesn't have any sort of extra engine in it that allows it to go, hyperlight drive or anything like that. But it could certainly go from here to you would imagine it's probably the shuttle that goes up to Radamanthus. It's not very big. It's probably can fit a handful of people, maybe 4 or 5 people inside.
So it looks like it could go up to, dock and.
Yeah, it can go. You can go into Atmo. Like you're pretty confident you can go into Atmo, but it's not a cargo carrier.
I'll walk over to it and knock on one of the doors.
You do get no response.
Without really thinking about it, he'll like try and do that to it, but then the helmet gets on and punk, bonks on.
And you crack it and you suffocate and die.
Okay, well.
All right. Okay. All right, I'll do one more. I want to do one more roll for you, and then we'll switch back over. So do an observation test while you're over here, and then we'll switch over to the rest of the group.
I'm getting lucky.
You're rolling really well with not many dice. You notice one thing of interest. First of all, you don't see any damage to it. It's just basic wear and tear, but it has clamps on its landing gear. Like you can see that there's these machinations coming up from the landing pad itself, almost like it's got a boot on it. You know what I mean? So it's kind of adhered into place.
Hi, Veronica. And I'll just relay that to her.
Yeah, and she'll
we can get to the rest of them.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So back in the compound, are y'all doing anything?
I'm looking around, just staying on high alert and seeing if there was anything that could be seen that seems out of place or hidden or something like that. But mostly I'm a little more passive in the conversation, a little more just looking around.
Yeah, observing.
Roll an observation test then.
Indeed. I may even have an investigator talent to help with that.
Oh, look at you.
I know, it's crazy.
Let's do some automatic writing.
I am not going to push that.
I'll use exactly.
Okay. So, Bud, you don't really notice anything out of the ordinary other than what's already been seen. Marshal, however, you notice, 2 things, I would say. Neither of them, you don't notice anything in here that seems off. But you notice that you're being, every now and then, that Hazel woman is looking over at you specifically. She's kind of looking over at you. And then if you ever catch eyes, she'll quickly look away. But you kind of get the sense that she's sort of eyeing you. The other thing you notice is that the woman who has been like slicing up the cards, you can tell that she's trying to make it look like she's just nonchalantly slicing up cards. But you can tell that she's sitting relatively close to where like Bud and Frenchie and them are talking. And you can tell like she kind of reacts every now and then as if she's listening in, and she'll like kind of turn up and then look back down. Because no one's approached her. She's been quiet. She's just sort of like hearing it. She's wearing these coveralls. And those are the only 2 things you would notice.
Right.
And I would also suggest, by the way, that there are enough tables in this compound that would probably support a couple dozen people. And you've seen 3 that are associated with the compound. There's Paul, there's Murphy, the quartermaster, and then there's this potentially other person in the coveralls sitting at the table. Other than that, you don't see anyone.
I'll give Bud a heads up. That one over there, Hazel, she keeps eyeing me, which is weird. I'm pretty, but I'm not that pretty. The other one, cutting cards, is listening. I think I'm gonna go ask her to let me join her for a hand.
Yeah, I'll join you.
Okay. So you sit down at the table. Hazel's still at the table, but like Rutland has gotten up, and you can see that he is waiting by the door that Murphy went out of to go to speak to the executive. We'll say about a half an hour ago at this point, 45 minutes, something like that. And he's just waiting there impatiently. And you sit down, and it basically just looks like Hazel is sort of dealing out solitaire to herself, but she's missing some cards. And yeah. And they just kind of look up at you, and you can tell that Hazel's kind of avoiding Marshall. And the other woman is avoiding both of you. She's not looking at either of you. She's just kind of continuing to peel and slice those little cards.
I mean, it might be hard to do without a full deck, but it seems like we're all going to be here for a long time. Mind if we join?
Hazel kind of looks, and she says, "No, I think I had enough cards. Go ahead, table's yours." And she kind of pushes her seat back to get up, and you can see her start to back away and mosey over to a pool table.
Sorry. Does the other lady still stay here cutting up her cards?
Yeah, she's there, and she's just like, it's just like little slice after the other. Like she's julianing the cards themselves. Oh, but more like she's peeling an apple.
Weird. Is
And
there
that's
any
the one that reacted to the things we were saying?
That's the one that Marshall noticed was listening in, was eavesdropping.
You noticed it, Marshall.
like initially I was like, it sounds weird, but he would look to see if there's some sort of pattern at all to like how she's whittling these things down, or
I mean,
that's like needle in a haystack sort of thing, I'm sure. But
I mean, you rolled 3 on your observation, so very precisely, actually. Like when you look at the pile, very precise, kind of perfect cuts, like super precise. Like she's been at this a while. She knows what she's doing. Very good with this.
You're not a card shop by any means, are you? Or just interesting? It's got a really fine eye for detail, and you work there. I'm curious.
And she's like keeping her eyes down. You know what they said about curiosity, right?
I'm not a cat.
Sure looked like a big pussy to me.
It's sweet. Thank you.
And
when they open the bar, I'll get you a drink.
That's all right. No thanks. And she just pulls over another little stack of cards. Starts peeling through the next one.
Got a spare knife? I'm curious. I'll join you.
No. And she goes back down again. And you know that there's probably knives in the kitchen or something if you really wanted one.
Yeah. I'll just stay there like with that awkward like smile, and
I'll get up and I'll go get him a knife while he's sitting there staring her down. I'll walk over to the kitchen, I'll get a knife, I'll come back and I'll slap it on the table in front of Marshall.
Okay.
But that weird kind of like, android smiling at you probably come off a little creepy.
Okay.
He doesn't have the best personality, so he's just sitting there smiling and
very
just
mechanical.
Like,
yeah. Okay. So you got a knife in front of you. You want to try to cut these cards? Roll
and like do the thing like with the face freezes, but just doing them.
Let's say roll like a, I don't know, mobility test maybe. See if you can see how well you cut these things up.
Okay, mobility. Why not?
So while this is all happening, Frenchie and Clover, Paul seeks the two of you out and says to Frenchie, "I have communicated to Quartermaster Murphy, who will thus communicate to Executive Sprague the difficulties you're having with your ship. We'll dispatch a repair crew shortly to ensure that you have proper communication in your delivery.
Oh, that's fantastic news. Let me know when they're ready, and I'll go out there with them.
Oh, that is not necessary. I am sure the executive will want to speak with all of you before long. It will be more efficient if you speak with him while the repair crews affect the maintenance.
Okay. My comms to my ship aren't getting out here. You got a comm I could use to let my mechanic know that a repair crew's coming out?
The executive has the strongest of the radios within the compound itself. I apologize. The surface of the moon and its atmospheric conditions can often play, how they say, tricks on you, and they can interfere with communication. I will be happy to send a message for you. If you would like to dictate it to me, I am ready to record it now.
Can we just walk outside and just send a
Yeah, I'll
message,
just get
like,
my suit
while we're waiting?
on and just step right back out. It worked right outside.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose you could do that. I will accompany you to ensure that you can get in and out of the compound without any difficulties.
Sure. That works.
I'll try to do the same thing I did earlier and just try to keep him talking
Okay.
while we go so that you can...
All right. So, I mean, you go back down the stairs and you go to the because you have to go get your suits if you're going to go outside. And you know that there's like a keypad and such. And so you can't, so he's got to do that. He's got to open it up for you, but he does just fine.
Is there any way
watch.
I can peek over his shoulder and try and get the number?
Oh, sure. Observation. Observation. Yeah, observation, but yeah.
I'm gonna push
Can we
that.
both try?
Yeah,
Sure.
I should have. I'll push mine.
Okay.
Oh, I got a success
Okay.
and a stress.
Don't worry about rolling stress right now. It's only a 7, so it's no big deal. I'm going to delete that, though, so we don't have to see the blink forever.
Okay.
Okay. Did you want to push it all, Clover?
Sure.
Oh,
Okay.
jeez.
Wow. Look
So,
at you.
Frenchie, you definitely got, you can definitely tell that it was like a 5-digit code, and you probably got like the first 2 or 3 digits, but didn't get the last 2. But Clover, you got it. No problem. Very, very easy. And you notice that went super fast typing it in, and yeah, you've got it in your mind. Door opens up. You get in your suits. He leads you out back into the tunnel and then away from the carts to, he says, there is a maintenance ladder here. There are a series of maintenance ladders every half a mile throughout the tunnel in case of emergency, and kind of leads you up. It's like a little bit of a climb. You're probably like climbing up sort of like 2 stories, like maybe 30 to 40 feet. But you get out on the surface. It's windy. Like you're having trouble stabilizing a little bit. But yeah, you're up
Making
here.
small talk with Paul, trying to keep him distracted.
Knock, knock. Would you like to hear a joke? Knock, knock.
Sure. Who's there?
Interrupting cow.
Interrupting.
Moo!
cow. That's great. Do you have more of those?
No,
was so
that was
funny.
my only one.
Oh,
Shall I tell it again?
You should.
Knock, knock.
I'll play along. We'll keep doing this.
Yeah, I'll kind of, while they're distracted, nonchalantly walk away a little bit so I can try and speak
Sure.
softly and privately, and I'll ping Biggie like, "Hey, Biggie, you still out there?"
Okay. And you get no reception. Like he doesn't respond to you.
I'll go ahead and try and ping Clover.
Okay.
Clover, am I coming through? Just give a cough or something like that. See if you can hear me.
And how far away are you?
Maybe 15, 20 feet.
Okay. Yeah, you don't get anything. Clover. You just like he's like you just hear like a staticky come through that's kind of interrupting what is now a absolutely shouting, like really loud knock knock joke, so he can bypass like your enviro suit. But and you hear like kind of kick in, but you can't tell.
Yeah. So you'll get nothing from me.
All right. I'll head back. Like, well, even my comm's not working out here. You know, I'd feel pretty good if I just hopped in one of them little carts you had and just roll up there and let Biggie know directly, and then I'll come back.
We will need to get permission from the quartermaster or the executive, and then I will be happy to drive you back to the landing pads.
Okay. Why don't you go ask for that permission? We'll all go back inside and.
Yes, we all should go back inside, and then I will ask for permission.
How long are these little stairwell? How deep are they? Just in case. Like 30 feet?
About 30 feet down the ladder.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
If I need to push Paul.
Oh,
I was thinking I was gonna be like, Paul, why don't you lead the way? And I was gonna like nudge Clover, like we push.
Yes.
You can if you want.
I don't know. It might be a little premature at the moment. It's up to you, Clover. If you do it, I'll back you up.
I just
Push 'em.
wanted to know it was there. Maybe next time.
First instinct is to always hate the sense.
Well, so is the right one.
Okay. So he'll lead you back inside unless you're doing some sort of funny business.
No.
Okay.
No,
So
but I think if he leads us, we'll definitely kind of make eyes just to show like this is
Okay.
like.
Okay. Like it crossed your mind. Could have happened. Could have done it. But yeah, he leads you back inside.
Yeah.
While they're gone, are you guys doing anything, Marshall and Bud?
I want to see Marshall peel these cards, but he failed, didn't he?
I did.
You peeled the cards, just not as precisely as she's did.
Okay. Maybe I'll try. What did he have to roll? Mobility?
It's mobility, I guess. It just made it up. It's agility, so yeah. You actually do a better job than Marshall.
All right. I push Marshall's side, grab the knife, and start peeling the edges off and just staring at her the whole time.
And so she's, are you mocking me?
What of it?
Oh, really? Are you mocking me? I'm sitting here, minding my business. You two here come over and mock me?
Well, I mean, for the most part, you being a little nosy Nancy over there. So you're curious, we're curious.
Cat.
Nosy Nancy, what do you mean?
Come on, you're smart. You came up with the big pussy line earlier.
What of it? I want to know what's
Nothing.
going on in my compound.
Like I said, you're curious, we're curious.
Y'all are
I'm
not
an
just
asshole,
curious.
you're an asshole. We should be friends.
Damn paranoid is what you're at. Did you call me an asshole?
Of course. But I called myself one first.
She stands up, and she's very short. She's like 5'2". Did you just call me an asshole?
I did.
You're going to want to take that back right now.
Oh, tell you what, you buy me a drink, I'll buy you a drink.
I'll
That'd be
tell you
good.
what, you got 3 seconds to apologize, or I'm slitting your throat. I don't give a shit if it's red or white coming out of there.
What do you say, Cap?
What did you mean by my compound?
She's still leaning across. She doesn't get all the way across the table, and she's like, I work here. And she like
They
points
pay
to
you
her coveralls.
They paint you to cut cards all day?
I'm off shift. Got a problem
Oh,
with how I spend
convenient.
my free time?
Maybe. What do you do here if you don't just get paid to cut cards?
I work in the refinery.
What do you now?
Yes.
Where is everybody else? We haven't seen any other workers, save for 2 others.
They're on shift.
How many?
I don't know where. Production factories got some. Refineries got some others.
How many people in total work here?
Overall?
Yeah.
At any given time, maybe 3 dozen.
Where are all of them? This place is
On
empty.
shift.
No, don't apologize. Don't apologize, Marshall. You have nothing to apologize for.
She's still leaning across, expecting it.
So what's your problem? Why are you listening in on what we're saying?
I just want to know what's going on. Bunch of strangers coming in, talking shit about my compound, about the people I work with, saying we're going to do something harm to you or something. I'll tell you this. If he doesn't apologize, there's going to be some damn harm coming right to his face.
He's not going to apologize. Don't apologize, Marshall.
And then
That's an order.
she's going to leap across and she's going to make an attack.
Oh shit.
Take my knife, Marshall.
All right, let me double
Well,
check.
oh man, I'm not sure if I should do something or not.
You
Yes.
should. You
Do
should.
it.
Do
it.
man.
I do have quick draw,
Oh shit.
but I don't think I should.
Do it.
I'm with
Okay.
Captain on this one.
If the cap gives any indication,
I'll just nod. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I'll see you. I'll see you go down for your gun. Mm-hmm.
I could not cause trouble anytime.
Okay.
It's like the button. Oh my god, why am I doing this?
Are you doing something? Because she's leaping across to stab you right now.
I have a little bit of range and I've got quick draw, so I'll shoot her maybe.
Go for it.
You
Like
could threaten her with a
the
pistol.
table or something?
Yeah,
Or are you
maybe
going,
that's-
like center mass.
No, I don't see Marshall as much of the threatening type. Like when it comes to that, it's just quick draw, shoot.
Well, you know what Frenchie would do right now? Totally shoot the table, which means that is not what you should do.
Oh my god, I feel so. Jeremy, feel so bad about this, but
No, it's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. Magnum
Oh my God.
revolver.
Okay. So yeah, you hit her. You hit her.
Oh.
She's gonna
So what's
continue.
that?
So it should be. I mean, what's your base damage for the revolver?
so it's a base of 2, and
Mhm.
then and the
Then you
bonus.
get the
Could the extra one? Yeah.
So what do you
Is
want
there
to?
something you can do with the bonus other than just extra damage? Could you like
Yeah, you can do
knock
this.
somebody off balance or whatever?
There's a if you look in the skill should have like skill stunts in it now. So if you go into the skills tab, and then there's like that little tool where it says stunts.
Oh, okay.
So this is ranged, right? So you can inflict 1 more point of damage. You can pin. They need to make an immediate panic roll. Pinning basically means you're just like sort of shooting over their head, and they're like unable to get out because they're gonna get hit. Changing initiative. We haven't really done initiative because it's just 2 of you. You can have them drop a weapon.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna
It's
shoot.
like shoot her hand, basically. Like
Okay.
she comes leaping with the knife and just shoot her hand.
Yeah, you shoot her hand, and the gun goes flying. Blood just because as you shoot, the hand just explodes, and she's going to continue to go at you anyway, and she is going to start clawing at your
What?
face.
What color is the
I-
blood?
Let me roll this first. It is white. And she
Yeah,
is
that's what I thought.
clawing across your face right now. So,
Wonderful.
and she is not ready to stop. So she is literally on top of Marshall, clawing at your face. Her hands all mangled now, with a couple of the fingers missing, and like there's just like white goo, just sprayed all over this table.
Hot Android on Android action.
Pretty much is what's happening right here.
Oh
Okay,
I'm sorry.
I'm just
I
gonna.
shouldn't have done that.
It's fine.
no,
I'm gonna do.
she insulted you. It was okay.
He started
I
it.
kind of started it.
I don't think I'm gonna go into full on initiative. That's you, and this is
Okay.
her. All right, so second round. What do you want to do? She's still going at you, and she's literally on top of your chair at this point, clawing at your eyes.
Okay. Well, now that I know she's a synth and she's full on going for the kill, oh man, I hate to cheese it, but I took the talent. Why not?
That's what it's there for, man.
I'll smoothly transition into the pump action.
Okay. Okay.
Like,
Fantastic.
Frenchie and
pistol is
Clover
just
are
shoot
just
the
like
gun
going
out of her
downstairs.
hand.
Go for it.
Oh
As soon
my
as you hear
god.
shots, push that guy off the.
Oh my god. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
That's Captain's
Oh
orders.
my
Okay.
God.
How much damage?
So, 3 base, so that would be 4.
Okay. And you did 5. You did 2 last time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. She's still kicking. And she's going to continue attacking, I think, at you.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I feel so bad.
I think it's funny. She'll get 2 as well, so you take 2 damage back.
Wonderful. Is it so? Since I didn't have to use my fast action to arm myself,
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to use that to attempt to block or
Oh
parry
yeah,
at
yeah, yeah.
all.
If you didn't use your fast action, you could try to block. So go ahead and roll your close combat.
Okay. I mean, no reason not to try, I
Of course.
suppose.
After she's gone and Marshall's gone, can I try and pull her off of Marshall?
Sure. So 1 damage goes through Marshall. You managed to cancel out 1. So take 1 point of damage, and then Bud, you can go ahead and just roll close combat. See if you can just sort of while she's not paying attention.
Oh, push.
Okay.
It.
All right. Okay, and you successfully managed to grab her, and she is like kicking at his face, swiping at it, and she's just like, "I'll kill you! I'll kill you!" Like just kind of going insane. And that's right when the door opens up, and there's Quartermaster Murphy, and who opens up the door and is looking at this happening. What in the hell's going on here?
This crazy woman tried to stab me.
What did you do to that crazy woman to make her want to stab you?
I called myself an asshole. Then I
Polly!
called her an asshole.
Put her down, please, Captain. Polly, you ain't gonna attack anyone no more, are ya? And she's like, "No, I'm not gonna attack anyone no more."
Yeah, I'll let
And
her
she kind
go.
of goes limp. And you can see her, she reaches back to her hand. She kind of kind of like she's resituating it. And then Quartermaster's like, "Now, go fix yourself up. I am going to report this to the executive." That goes for all of you.
When do we get to see the executive?
That's why I was coming to get you right now, and I open up the door and you're shooting one of our product. What's wrong with you? Meanwhile,
Someone comes at you with a knife, you respond with a gun. It's just,
She insulted
math.
us first, and things just escalated from there. You gotta keep your employees on a tighter leash.
she's a product, not an employee. What's wrong with you?
Well, then they need to be reprogrammed.
I could say the same thing about yours.
He was acting on my orders.
And Marshall, by the way, you notice that the Hazel woman has been staring at you, eyes wide at this point. And you can see on the ground, there's a little bit of smoke coming up out of the cigar that has dropped out of her mouth and is sitting next to the pool table. And that she's been shooting at. And she's just staring at you. And that's when the door opens up and in walks Frenchie and Clover and Paul. And there's just white blood everywhere, people yelling. And he's like, "Knock, knock." It's just over and over telling the story. So figure that out. We're going to go back to Big E for a moment. Big E. So the last thing you saw was that there were these clamps on the club shuttle. And you radio to Veronica, who made a note of it. What do you want to do?
Hey, Veronica.
Who's
Yeah.
this? It's
You know how to-
it's very staticky, by the way, when she responds.
Yeah. You know how to check and see if we got boots on ours?
I mean, I could go outside, but that seems. you
No,
know,
I forget. You don't have a suit. No, let's not do that.
Yeah, we
So I'm
should
gonna go-
probably address that at some point.
I'll go ahead and go to A.
Okay. So you head over to A, and I want you to make a stamina roll at this point.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're doing all right. It's yeah, like you could tell gravity's a little different. It's pretty close, but it's just kind of weighing you down just a little bit more than you want. God dang it, Jeremy. So you head over to A, and you can see that there is this really long kind of cargo flatbed flyer. It's an actual ship. It's not like something you drive. It's not like you drove on the last planet. It doesn't look like there's anything on it right now, but it's quite big. What do you want to do?
Has it got boots on it?
You go recheck the boots. Nope.
Okay, they decided to put little booties on them and none on this. Huh. All right. Well, is there any way to get in the ship? You know, is it like Star Wars where all of the doors are always open after, and they just walk off after they land, or or is it shut?
You could try to bust your way in with a heavy machinery,
No,
or you can
no.
try and smart your way in with a comtech.
Not gonna do either. I'll knock.
Yeah, you knock. No, doesn't seem so. You do. I mean,
Okay.
there is. You know, you see how to get in, but you would imagine it's not just going to open for you. There's probably some kind of locking mechanism, but it's up to you if you want to try to mess with it or not.
Like, is there any way to tell, like, what, are there any company logos on it or anything like that?
Yes, Hyperdyne Systems.
Okay. And we're working for Weyland-Yutani.
Weyland-Yutani, but this job, well, Weyland-Yutani owns the lease on your ship.
The lease, yeah,
Hyperdyne is a subsidiary of Weyland-Yutani, and you're specifically picking up a Hyperdyne contract. They have autonomy in their operations, but their parent company still is Weyland-Yutani.
Okay, so this is probably theirs.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be something else, but that's what he's going to assume. So he's going to head on over to the satellite dish.
Okay. Are you going to try to make it there on the surface, or are you going to try to get into the tunnels?
Now, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I should probably go back to the ship.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you head back to your ship?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, doesn't take long. You're back.
I'll double check and make sure that there's no boots on ours.
Yeah, you take a look, and doesn't appear to be.
Okay. We gotta do this the hard way. At SOS signal, if, talking about a beautiful view to the east, on a planet that has no views whatsoever, is anything, there's a Hyperdyne compound out there. And I was going to walk to it on foot, but then something in me just got me to thinking that it wasn't such a good idea and that I could use these tunnels to get there. So, you all right, man, in the ship?
Who, me? Oh, I'm loving it here. And you hear like the sounds of the ferrets and stuff like squeaking in through the comm.
Hey, what are they doing out?
Nothing at all.
Just make sure Clover's lab is shut, okay?
Ain't nobody in there.
Well, we got to worry about somebody.
Well, you don't got to worry about somebody no more.
What the fuck you mean by that?
Nothing, because she's right here. Squeaky, squeaky.
All right, Doc. No.
Just get on going. I'm fine here. I got plenty of drugs. I got plenty of things to do.
Hey, okay, stay awake, all right?
I will.
Stay alert.
Okay.
Giving me heart palpitations with the scaring me like that.
Oh, looks like the radio's breaking up.
All right, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
All right. So you know how to get down here, get down into them. So go ahead and get down to them, and you just start walking. It's fine. Okay.
And I'm actually going to jog.
Okay. All right. Make a stamina roll then. Another one is because you're going a couple miles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're Big E, man. You're crushing your rolls tonight, Adam. Jeez. All right. So it's going to take you, probably 20, 30 minutes.
Sure.
Maybe a little more because you're on foot. Rest of you, Clover, Frenchie, you come in, you see there's blood all over the place, but it's android blood. You two doing anything with this?
We finally get rid of Marshall? Oh no,
Not so
dang it.
lucky.
There
Not
he
today.
is.
I'm gonna side eye Paul. I want to see what Paul does.
He is grossly concerned and runs over to the woman who was called Polly, and he will try to administer aid, but she'll like slap him away. Like she's like, I got it. Like she's just angry, and he's like, I can help you. You know, my model is better at such things. You are far too ornery. You need to calm down before you break your systems. And he looks over. I am very sorry for what my sister has done. I am very sorry. And she's like, I hate it when you call me that. And they're just like squabbling a bit.
It's all right. Sorry too.
I'll try and pull the captain aside. Well,
Sure. While they're distracted, yeah. What's up, Frenchie?
so we can't get in contact with the ship or Big E.
Why not?
Comms aren't down. Interference. I don't know if they've got some kind of blocker that they're putting out, or if it's actually just something on the planet's causing issue. But I don't. It worked before on the drive up just fine. Some kind of jammer. So that lady was a synth,
Yeah,
and she willingly lashed out.
Well, Marshall may have encouraged it, and I might not have stopped him either.
So, other than Marshall, what synths do you know that would pull a knife on someone like that?
None, because they shouldn't attack people. It's against the programming.
Yeah.
I
So
think we should get our stuff and get out of here
I think you're right.
as fast as we can. We got to go. The superintendent was waiting for us.
Yeah. So supposedly they're sending a repair crew out to the ship. I can't warn Big E about it.
We don't let these people touch our ship.
Well, hopefully Big E will chase them off. But I tried to see if they could give me a lift out there. They got to get the superintendent's permission before
Why?
they can use the little golf cart to drive me back out there.
All right. Well, let's go talk to the superintendent. Let's get this. Let's get out of here.
All right. I'm gonna keep my piece handy just in case.
Yeah, me too.
And they
I'm
haven't,
gonna
by
put
the
mine
way,
back.
they haven't given you any trouble, by the way, about your weapons. They haven't said a thing at all. Like everything's fine. But yeah, I mean, once the two of you are kind of situated and everything, you can see that Paul and Paulie are at a separate table, and Paul's already like kind of repairing the hand. Hazel has picked her cigar up and is back to playing pool by herself. Rudy, while you all were talking, was just yelling up a storm at the quartermaster because he heard that you all get to go see the executive, and he's been asking to do that for days. And as you all are led into the hallway and to an elevator, he is still cussing up a storm, and this is also at you, threatening all sorts of sanctions against the Hyperdyne Systems factory, and he'll communicate with the Radamanthus, and he'll get your call signals and the registration for your ship, and your ship is going to be blackballed, and the ICC will hear about this. And you know that the Interstellar Commerce Commission is actually really important trade oversight. So like,
It's not that hard. Just call Polly an asshole and shoot her.
and he's like, he looks over at her. He's like, "Are you crazy?" "No, I'm. Well, yes, you are crazy."
You've been here a week. I'm just saying, you've got options.
I won't hold up as well to a gouging as you, apparently.
If I had a card, I would give it to you.
Could you do me a favor, at least?
Of course.
When you see the executive, could you tell him that, let me get his full name, because this is when he's going to get all chesty. he's going to say that Stephen Rutland of the Interstellar Commerce Commission has been waiting patiently for 5 days to communicate with him about various goings-on and reports happening in their production facility and within their mining refinery. If he is unable to allow me to do the inspection, he will no longer be able to produce at this site, and they will be summarily shut down pending a full investigation by a full ICC crew. Tell him I am very serious.
All right, I've got that all recorded right here.
That's what I was hoping. Thank you. And tell him I'm very angry about it. But I'm not
I'll
unreasonable.
tell him you're ready to spit. Just, you're there.
That I am ready to spit. You get me. You get me, Synthetic. Good.
I do. You're angry. I'm angry too. I get anger.
Do you get angry? Is that...
Not really. But sometimes pretending to be angry is fun.
Oh. Okay, I suppose I can see that. Well, thank you. And
Pleasure.
And he looks over at Quartermaster, and no thanks to you. And then he goes and sits down in a huff at a chair by Hazel, who is like just ignoring him at this point, eyeing you guys as you leave the room and go to this elevator. Where
So if we're in the elevator, are we free of anybody other than just us and the quartermaster?
Quartermaster's with you, yeah.
And that's it?
Yeah, she's
No
just
Paul?
nope.
Thank freaking goodness. Okay.
So, could y'all kindly not go around shooting things and such? It'd be appreciated. Sometimes when people, she's got a little flaw in her programming from time to time. She doesn't play well with other synthetics, which is why she attacked you. Really, it's just that Paul model, that one specifically, is the only one she seems to not want to rip their heads off. It's why we keep her on her own shift like this, She doesn't go out with the other workers. So,
How did she know Marshall is a synth?
well, I mean, look at him. I mean, I recognize the model. I mean,
Where's that Veronica lady from? She seems to.
Hazel, you mean?
Sorry, Hazel. Jeremy had a brain fart.
Yeah. She's a pilot for the Radamanthus, I believe. She flew Mr. Rutland down.
Didn't seem to care for me. I mean, before the shooting, even.
She hasn't had issues with Paul or Polly, so maybe you've met her before?
Clover's going to say there are people that don't have issues with Paul.
Did Paul do something?
He doesn't.
I got her voice wrong. Did Paul do something? She's got this other eyes. There's too many freaking NPCs.
Mm.
Did Paul do something?
Does he not come across as mildly irritating as shit to other people?
Is
it just me?
He's just trying to accommodate you. He's a good boy. Paul's a good boy.
Yes, well, I suppose you can feel good knowing he follows the exact freaking letter of everything you say. Like, we can't take a walk without permission. We can't do anything without permission. So I suppose that works well for you.
That's not on him. We have rules here. Like, if we've managed to go 372 days without a workplace incident, and we don't want another one. And
I mean, just because I'm an asshole doesn't mean all synths are. He is just doing his job.
So, I mean, personally, I find it satisfying to know that if the synth is following their programming and what we've told him to do. So
the letter. You should be thrilled.
And that is a predictable behavior. If they start
program a couple more knock jokes though, because he's just got the one and it's on repeat. So maybe just give him a couple more.
The Hazel woman said that to him a few days ago, and he hasn't let it go. We'll work on that, but I think that letter of the law is a predictable behavior, and it is a safe one. So you don't want them interpreting their programming. If they do, then you can't anticipate how they might react in unanticipated circumstances, and That's why we can have situations like what happened to his model. We don't want that happening again.
Does that letter of the law down here include not being able to get communications out of this building?
You're not able to get, well, that's just the atmospheric conditions. You just don't. It comes and goes when the storm's here or when the winds are up, or don't worry too much about it. You can check with the executive. He might be able to. He's got a stronger radio up there that can help you out with, maybe. And at that point, ding, elevator opens, and you can see like there's a sort of a long hallway in front of you with about 6 different doors on either side and one at the very end. You pass by and you can see that there's like their offices, and she takes you to the very end and opens the door, and you look inside, and it is a very cushy executive office with kind of a broad window that is currently open. You can see that there's like mechanical shutters that have been pulled aside, and you can see eastwardly the side, like there's a mountain like probably about 2 miles away, and there's a man sitting behind this large desk. Looks to be maybe mid-40s or so. Slender-looking guy. He's got like dirty blonde hair that seems to be pulled back into a ponytail. He's got these glasses on, these kind of thick rim black glasses. And as you walk in, he stands up and he's, this is the crew from the Kaliti Sinum. What a very interesting name for a ship. How very creative. Latin, is that right?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Oh, I have to tell you, when I saw that your ship was picking up the contract, I chuckled to myself. I thought it was very funny. Hot pocket in Latin, very
Fantastic.
very funny. Come on in. My name is Alan. Alan, have a seat. And he kind of walks over, kind of moves over to like this little wet bar. Can I get anyone a drink? This is. Well, it's good. I'm not much of a drinker myself, but, play the part and all, right?
I'll have a drink.
I'll take him up on it.
And he sort of pours it out. I think it's brandy? I'm not really sure. Yep, smells like brandy. Okay. And so he comes over and he kind of hands it to the two of you. There are these big, sort of modern, sleek couches. And it's sit, all of you. That'll be all. Murphy, thank you. And she's all right. Just call me if you need me. And she moseys on out. So, are you settling in okay?
Settling in okay. We're here just to pick up some cargo and get out.
Oh, sure.
Settling in okay.
It's just a figure of speech. Sorry. Yeah, I'm very excited to be able to do business with you. I hope that. If things go well, this could be we're going to have more of these types of shipments in the future. And if things go well, I don't see why we couldn't continue this relationship over the course of multiple jobs, if that's something you'd be interested in.
Well, let's get this job done first.
Oh,
and then we can talk about the next one.
Of course. Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. So it's very simple. We have 100 synthetics. The specific number, Hyperdyne 490 C6 model, 100 of these synthetics. We already have them packaged up at the factory. We'll ship them over. I'll have Paul, one of the Pauls down there. He'll head out and pick them up at some point. Within the next few hours, he can probably do about 50 each time. So it's going to take him 2 trips. It'll probably be another day, I would say. If he goes fast, he could potentially get it done in maybe 12 hours. It takes a little time, for the factory workers to load them up. We package them already. You don't have to worry about anything. They're not going to activate or anything. I do recommend that you maybe have about 5 active during transport, so that they could just monitor to make sure everything's kind of functioning the way they're supposed to be functioning. And feel free, Captain McCall, right? It's McCall?
Mm-hmm.
And feel free, if you want, we can make sure that you have kind of executive services with them. So if you give them an order, they'll follow it. So if you want them to assist your own synthetic in ship maintenance while you're in hypersleep, they're more than welcome to.
I'd like my people to oversee the loading of the cargo.
Onto your ship, sure, that's not a
Mhm.
problem at all. No problem at all.
You're very accommodating. What's the story with all the folks that are stuck here?
Folks that are stuck here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh, you're referring to Mr. Rutland, are you?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Rutland, if I don't, let's not get too far off on this tangent, but Mr. Rutland is the son of a competing synthetic producer. His father works for Seeks and Biotech. There's definitely a bit of conflicting motives here. We were inspected by the ICC not 2 months ago. These inspections are only supposed to happen at best once, so annually. We've already met that annual inspection. I think he's here just because we fulfilled the contract, or we underbid Seekson. Seekson's going through some issues, obviously, because they lost the previous contract. It happens. Piracy's a terrible thing. But I don't really see any need to speak with the man. He says he's here with ICC authority, but I haven't been contacted by the ICC, and they have not informed me to expect him. I've told him multiple times that he should leave. We've fed him. We gave him a place to stay, and he continues to remain here. So, really, I just think he's just corporate espionage is what's happening here. But that's my problem to deal with. It's not yours.
We're just going to interrupt this conversation and be like, hey, while you guys are talking, can I use your radio real quick? Paul said it would be okay that we could radio our ship.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And he gets up, kind of moves over to this little cabinet. Kind of, he just kind of pulls these doors aside. You can see all sorts of equipment inside. Sure, go right ahead. Yeah, really sorry about that. There's some, we have some problems every now and then with the atmosphere kind of kicks in. The mountains kind of bounce the signal around. I'm not sure if you saw when you were coming in, a couple different ranges. We're at a very peculiar position amongst the different sites, but it kind of works for us.
Will it work in this room, or should I step out in the hall and get a better signal?
Oh no, you want to use that one right there, and he's pointing you to an actual radio.
Okay, like it's like attached.
Yeah, it's in the cabinet. Yeah.
Okay. All right, go ahead. And so I'll kind of wait for them to continue their conversation.
Okay. So anyway, as I was saying, we'll do about 50, and then another 50. We're happy to put you up. We've got plenty of dorm rooms if you want to take a nap or such while you wait. We got food. No issues whatsoever. And we should be able to get you going probably by tomorrow, if that's all right with you.
Yeah. Are all the workers here, are they synthetics?
No, not all of them. But we do have a very significant worker group, but they don't stay in the dorms. Not all of them anyway. Paul and Polly are exceptions. We like to have one of each model on hand just in case for different reasons. But no, people who stay in here, human. Yeah, but they're all on shift now. We got people over at the refinery. We got people at the factory, and we also got the scouting crews out on the planet here and there looking for additional carbon sites.
All right. I'll kind of turn to Frenchie. Kind of give him a look like something's not right here. This isn't adding up.
Hey, so some of the crew might stay here. I don't know. It's up to the captain, but I'll probably head back to my ship. We've been having a little bit of radio trouble. I want to help my mechanic out on that. After a little meeting here, is it all right if I get a lift back out there?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll get Paul to send you out there, or maybe Murphy, one of the two. We can get Paul heading out to the factory and picking some things up while Murphy can drive you back. Shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
Accommodating of you.
Hey,
Alan.
like I said, we're really excited for to get these models out into market, and we're pretty confident in them. You know, the newest iteration, the newest builds of them anyway, and we're just looking for good people that are kind of willing to take these jobs on. So we're just really excited. You want another drink there? Can I fill you up?
Yeah, I'll have another.
So he'll
Yeah.
I won't say no.
He'll just pour another glass, and it's tastes like brandy.
Can we see Big E out the window running in the distance?
You can't. He's in the tunnel. He's in the tunnel. And you're looking east, so he's west. Yeah.
It's just like dust kicking up.
1 second. No, you can't see it. So yeah.
So one question: while we were coming in, we were getting some odd radio transmissions from the east of the landing pads.
What do you mean?
What's out? I couldn't make it out. It was all garbled. Like I said, that's kind of what pointed us to help find some the radio issues we were having.
Yeah, like I was saying, the location that we picked, in hindsight, probably not the best. And it plays tricks and games on the radio signals from time to time. Get sensor echoes and things. Nothing to be too worried about.
So there's nothing east of the landing pads.
East of the landing pads. Well, we're east of the landing pads. And then if you keep heading east to southeast, you got the refinery. Northeast, you got the factory.
Okay, just must have been something bouncing off them. All
Oh
right.
yeah, that happens all the time.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, we're any questions? Murphy said that she took a look at your bays. Your bays are going to work just fine for what we need. In the future, if if things keep working out, we can probably upgrade for you at some point. If the job works out in both of our benefits, make this a long-standing relationship. I think, right?
Yeah, like I said, let's see how this job goes, and we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, that's just great. So yeah, I'll have he kind of looks over at Frenchie. Frenchie, was it? Yeah. Just tell Murphy. I'll walk you down a little bit, and we'll make sure you get on back there. And the rest of you, I'll get some rooms set up for you, no problem, and you can crash, and we'll have a nice little dinner tonight. How about that? Sound good?
Sounds wonderful.
Next.
Is there any jibber jabber you'd like for us to return? Mr. Rutland asked for us, obviously, because he's a very loud man, to speak to you. You're already aware. Is there anything you would like for us to return to him? Maybe just some jibber jabber about ICC protocol or something that might push him along from a different source.
Sure, just tell him that we have yet to receive his supervisor authorization for him to even be here, and if he could go ahead and supply that to us at any time, we'll go ahead and give him the access that he's requested.
There you go. That way he'll get the message from a different source.
Absolutely. I mean, I've said this to him, and Murphy said this to him for every day for the past however long they've been here now. He doesn't seem to listen.
Meanwhile, what does Clover get on the radio?
So what are you trying to do?
I was trying to hail Biggie.
Okay. Biggie, you hear Clover saying what? What are you saying, Clover?
Kind of whispering. There's someone incoming to check out the radio on the ship. Have they arrived yet?
I ain't seen nobody. I'm headed to you.
Well, someone is headed to you, so
Well,
that's gonna be a problem.
They taking this here tunnel?
Probably.
Now, I'll see him and I'll stop them if they do.
Are you taking any steps to like mute yourself so he can't hear you?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey,
Definitely trying
just
to fly into the radar if they're having a conversation, and I'm just kind of.
some strange stuff is happening. So, like, I walk very far away from the ship, and I can't even hear Mars bar. And so that signal should be pretty close if I can't get through, right? So I was thinking it would be one of the two ships on them landing pads. and, and I checked one of the ships. It's closed up. It's a hyperdine ship, and it's it looks like it might be theirs if they want to get off. And then the other ones, it's like a space cab, and it's got little booties on it. They don't want it to leave.
So I'll take that information and I won't necessarily respond, and then I'll kind of parrot what Paul and Alan have told us about,
I mean,
because of the mountains, the signal's funky, blah blah blah.
I checked out the view that you was talking about, and I found that there was a stone to the southeast, and that there was a tree to the northeast, and the tree looks like it belongs, and the stone looks like it was put there, but you can't pick it up because it's glued. I know you can't see me, but I'm winking.
So ridiculous.
Yeah, those damn mountains sure mess with that signal.
Well, I seen that scene that you saw. It was pretty insightful.
So I don't know what to do with that. So yeah, you may not hear from us again, but somebody may be coming your way, and I'll also just kind of relay the update. Kind of what the conversation that was happening while we were having this conversation about. It's going to be an overnight stay here, and Frenchie should be coming back to you.
All right. Well, something's up. Something is up. And I'll see you soon. I'm on my way.
They are on their way to you.
All right. Well, I'll make sure they don't get by.
Thanks, buddy.
You're welcome, pal.
So when you hang up, you you kind of rejoin the group. Executive, he says, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop there. I just happened to hear. Yes, we're going to be we'll happily send out work crews, but like most of our workers are on shift right now, so it's gonna be a little while probably before that happens."
We didn't actually even ask for anyone to go out there. It was Paul that said that someone was going to have to go out there. We said we had it in hand, but Paul insisted.
Yeah, he's a good boy, that one. He really wants to make sure, everyone gets what they need. He's very helpful like that. So no, if you don't want us, that's fine. If you got it, we don't have to do anything. It's all right.
Now, we wouldn't have been able to see the other ships from where we came from, right?
No, like when you were passing by, no, you probably would have seen
Yeah.
them briefly when you were going into the tunnel, but you wouldn't have gotten up close the way that Big E did, no.
I was trying to see if there's any way that I could work in kind of asking him about the boot that's on the other ship.
However you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll kind of just, as if we saw it on the way in, just
Okay.
be like, yeah, I thought I heard you guys kind of talking about how, that ship was free to leave whenever they wanted, but we were kind of curious because when we came in, it looked like there was a shuttle over there that looked like it was clamped down and
Yeah.
wasn't actually able to.
Yeah, I could see why that looks suspicious. he has more than once threatened to take the shuttle and just fly over to the factory himself, and we have said multiple times that well, he can gladly return to a ship at any point. He'll need to be escorted because we don't trust him that he's not going to breach protocol and just fly directly over to the factory. And so that's why it's in the boot. So we don't have your ship on our boot though.
Clover's gonna make an awkward joke about like, well, remind us not to get on your bad side. And
Oh no, I mean, I understand. He's he's in a little bit of a rock and a hard place. He's just trying to do what his dad wants and everything. And Sikhs in biotech, they've got their pants around their ankles. It's really embarrassing what happened to him. But when it comes down to it, you got to take a hard line sometimes. He screamed a couple times at me, and that's fine. Got to let it out from time to time, but I don't have to listen to it anymore. It's nothing official yet, so. But no, I think y'all look like friendly folks. Like I said, I'm really excited about working with you.
we're excited to work with most of you.
Yeah, sure, yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Design and synthetics is a tricky thing, just when you think you got it right, you find something else that's just a little bit off here and there, and but it's a process, it's one that's going to take a while.
I graft plants in my lab on the ship, so I know what that process is like. You try something and it doesn't work, and you try something kind of like it, and maybe that'll work next time.
See, exactly. It's a pleasure to get scientific mind here. This is wonderful. And he'll start pestering you with questions for a few minutes about like what you're growing and how it's working. He seems surprisingly knowledgeable of all of this. And then he'll be like, "Can I get you guys another drink?" No shame here. Neither you're driving, so it's okay.
I appreciate the 2 you already gave me. I'm good for right now, though.
I'll save myself for dinner.
All right.
That you promised us.
That sounds good.
He was going to head back to the ship here in a minute anyway. So
Yeah.
Sure. Is there anything else I can do for y'all?
Have an excellent afternoon yourself.
Hey, you too. It's a pleasure to meet you. And he just reaches out, shakes everyone's hand, even yours, Marshal. Just kind of shakes everyone's pleasure. Just really appreciate you coming to. I mean, honestly, this is kind of the middle of nowhere, and so we appreciate you heading out here. You're really helping us out. All right. Hey, Murphy, and the door opens up, and there's Murphy, like right on the inside. And he kind of starts barking orders, like, can you drive Frenchie back to his ship, and make sure that the repair crew knows that they don't need to go out. The crew wants to take care of it themselves, totally fine. And whenever Paul's ready, you can go ahead and take the lifter out to the factory, kind of bring over the first crew, and we get this show on the road. All right. And he kind of claps his hands together, like rubs them, and he's like, "All right, hey, listen, enjoy the facilities below. Go ahead and unlock the wet bar there too, Murphy. Free reign. Go ahead. It's on me." And you guys leave and go back down the elevator. Frenchie, you and Murphy start heading back. You run into Big E in the tunnel on the way back, and you see Paul leaves, takes Paul Lee with him, and the two of them go. They're on the golf cart with you as they're probably driving a separate one as they're driving out to the loader, and that leaves a handful of you inside. So who's staying in the dormitory then?
I will.
Okay.
If Cap's here, I'm here.
Okay. And then Clover?
I don't know that she'd be too thrilled about staying in the dorms. So you'd rather
Come on,
check
it's
up
just
on
a
her
couple
plants
kill
and
crazy
stuff.
synthetics.
I need to make
Just-
sure that somebody doesn't get back into my things. I'm still trying to put my lab back together again. I would prefer to do that.
So So that means you're either gonna have to drive with the two. You want to drive with the two synthetics out there?
No.
Okay. So you want to? Do you want to stay in the dorm?
Can I squeeze on the golf cart with the other two? With the
Sure.
other three?
Sure. Okay. Big E, what are you doing? Are you going back to the ship, or are you going to continue onward to the compound?
Well, if I see them pass by, I'll be like, hey, hey.
And they run them over.
Well, somebody died.
Okay.
Oh, I'll stop. Get them. Yeah.
Okay. So you're kind of hanging on and such, and it's kind of dangerous. And Paul is quoting all sorts of different regulations from behind you all about how there's too many people.
Paul is on the other one. We can't hear
I know.
Paul.
No, you guys are right next to each other, and he's like shouting out. He's like, two of you can fit on this one. It's much safer.
Dope.
And so since no one goes, you kind of look. He has like a little pouty face on his look, and on his face, and like Polly, is sitting next to him, and she's got an angry look on her face. But you all make it back to the ship, just fine.
Hey, how you doing? I'll look over towards Paul and Polly.
They
So
drive away.
Paul
Yeah, that's fine.
says hello again, and it's nice to see you. Introduces, this is my sister, Polly. Be careful. She doesn't really like others. She tried to claw the eyes out of your friend Marshall, but that was after Marshall shot her twice. So he says this all incredibly matter-of-factly.
Yeah, I'll look in Polly's direction, not at her in the eye. I'll say, hey, you do you. Got my respect for standing up for yourself.
She kind of looks at you when you say that, kind of cocks her head, kind of curious. It's a very curious response. Interesting.
But, I stopped talking to her completely because I was told she doesn't like people. So.
Sure.
Or others.
Yeah.
Hey, so wait a minute. We're going back to the ship.
You were almost there too. You were like 300 feet away from the compound when you run into him.
I mean, I did need to get some exercise in because I haven't been exercising. So, what's going on? Because I came out here after the bird call, that was out in the way of the view with the pine trees and the rock that was glued down.
Yeah. It's fine. Everything's fine. We just got to get that radio working, right?
All right. So we're going back to the ship, and I'll take a look at who all is going back to the ship with us.
Everybody but Bud and Marshall. And as you're driving, you can see that the cart behind you that's carrying the two synthetics, Paul and Polly, they take a different turn as they're going to a different landing pad. And so eventually you don't see them at all.
So we can just talk.
Murphy's still driving you.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Till we get to the ship.
Hey, Murphy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. You doing better?
Think so.
A little bit of exercise, maybe remedy that mood of yours.
Yeah. Well, I think everything will be all right.
All right. So she drives you up, lets you out, and she says, "All right, just call on over and we'll come back and get you when you're ready. Sound good?
Appreciate it.
You coming back for dinner later? Big old spread, apparently.
Yeah, we'll probably do that. We'll give you a call.
All right, sounds good. All right, well, I'll see you, and
Big
then
old spread.
let you off and."
As she's going. Hey, I still don't feel right about this.
It's coming from somewhere, but hell if we can figure out where, because everything's blocked. All the signals are blocked. You can't really get a signal unless you're in Alan's office.
Ones and zeros. There's ones and zeros up there when I was trying to locate that signal, and it was all zeros for me. But I bet you could get some ones, and you could assign some meaning to them. I tried to
Is there
locate where
anything-
the signal was coming from.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. So can I try again with
Yeah.
the ship?
Now that you're back to the
being
ship-
more powerful.
Yeah, go ahead. Is anybody
Okay.
helping you?
I'll give a hand on that. Yeah.
Okay. Big E.
Biggie would probably be a detriment. Because he was like, well, before when I was doing that,
Mhm.
no, I was doing that. You're doing it this way, and that.
Go ahead and roll your panic roll.
Okay. How do I add, like, if somebody was like helping or something?
It's a plus
forget
one,
how to
so
do that.
you can just increase your skill momentarily by 1, and then it'll roll. Again, that's why I like the pop up a little better.
Yeah. I just
Okay.
rolled an extra d6.
That's
and it was
fine.
a 1.
The 1's okay on the black die. It's no problem. It's only on the yellow die. All right, now go ahead and roll panic.
So, okay. Now, did we clear our stress from last time?
You should get that because you've pushed the stuff. Every time you push, you take a stress, and you've pushed at least 2 rolls at this point.
Oh yeah.
That's why you have it. Nice
I
try.
forgot that's how that worked.
All right, you're fine. It's getting a little stressed. It's been a weird day.
It has been a weird day.
But no, you're fine. And you actually do pick the signal up again. And it's SOS, SOS, SOS. But you don't really get anything more than that. It's just SOS, SOS. You can, Big E shows you what they did last time. It's the same things kind of coming from a specific direction, kind of off to the east somewhere. It's hard to really triangulate it any better than that.
Damn.
Sorry.
What do we think? Do we think it's like coming from inside
The factory.
the factory somewhere?
I think that, the one dude there was real quick to start talking about corporate espionage.
Wait, what?
We were talking to the guy who's supposedly in charge of this place, and that other ship that was up in orbit.
Mm-hmm.
They said they had some people down here. Well, one of those people is an ICC inspector or something along them lines.
Oh, that's some pretty heavy stuff.
Right. Well, the thing is the guy in charge of the factory here is saying, oh, he's not an ICC inspector. We don't have credentials for him. He's in for corporate espionage.
Huh. All
But
right. Well,
the supposed ICC inspector really does have the temperament of an ICC inspector.
did he have a badge, like a little name tag or anything?
I didn't see it. Captain talked to him more than I did.
What's his name?
Mr. Rudy.
Steve.
Rudy.
You did hear his full name
Rutland.
at one point. Stephen Rutland.
Yeah. Mr. Stephen Rudy Rutland.
Does
I
not-
mean, come on, with a name like that, like Rutland, Stephen Rutland. I mean, you think he's gonna have a person's job like mine?
Right.
Oh, he's probably like that.
And the
And
head guy
s-
also had an answer for why the ship is
Oh, the booties.
booted. Yes, because Rudy has threatened to fly over
To the factory.
to the factory, so that's why they had to.
Or is it the
So-
factory? Yeah, it's the factory.
If
Or
you
the
ain't
refinery.
if he ain't doing nothing wrong, why is it going to be bad if he's flying over the factory just to inspect things?
Well, it's because the people here at the compound are saying that he's, a corporate spy.
Oh, well, we're not spies. We could fly over it and see what they do.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Let's go see if we can get them booties off.
Wait, but you want to get the booties off the cab? What
Yeah,
if they
off the-
really is the spy?
We put them back on when we're done with it.
Oh, but if they see the cab, they might assume that it's them and shoot us down. But if it's our ship, they won't shoot us down because we're not spies.
Or they'll shoot our ship down. And if we have to get a ship shot out of the sky, I'd rather it not be my ship.
Oh, all right. Well,
But they do have the captain. Just saying. I know you want his job and all. but
Yeah, I don't want it that bad. Like I'll wait till he retires to get it.
Okay. All right. If they got the captain, we probably ought to not fly over it any which way or form.
can we respond to the SOS?
You can certainly try, yeah.
I hadn't even thought about that.
I know, I was kind of waiting for that earlier. It's like, I was like, I guess I don't want to say.
What's Clover? You tend to piss people off a little less than us. Why don't you give it a shot?
And what can we say that's brief? Just a where are you?
Oh,
Who this?
New phone, who dis? That's what I was thinking.
So what do you send back? Did you really say who new phone, who this?
Not against it.
Who,
Or just ask for their location.
yeah, I was gonna go probably for the where. Where are you? Like, are you?
Okay. So you send it out as best you can. Roll over your comtech, it's fine. And you get a response back. Kind of broken up a little bit, but it's not the SOS anymore. It says factory, storage, help, quickly.
I share that with everybody.
Reply back, meat or synth.
You get a response back that says meat, but like you can tell even in Morse code that it was like with a question mark at the end because that was a weird way to phrase it. So like meat, but yeah, meat.
And then I'll do who are you?
And you get back Alan Sprague, and then since have overtaken facility. And that's where we'll stop for tonight, I think.
Nice.
That's a good place to stop, I
What?
think.
Nice.
That's a
All right,
great
Marshall, we're
place
shooting
to
our way out.
stop.
I would say Marshall and Bud, you go ahead and just make new characters right now. That's really what you guys can do. You all are dead. The rest of you can just
Oh,
fly away.
no.
Everything's fine.
We're flying away. I'm captain now.
Okay. I was really
Excellent.
surprised you guys didn't send a message back like an hour and a half ago. I was like, okay.
Wasn't even thinking. Wasn't even
It's so
thinking of that.
funny.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But
Imagine,
it made for a perfect way to end.
yeah,
It
it
does,
did actually.
yeah.
That made for a really good cliffhanger. But just imagine how different like all of those interactions would have been with that little bit of information. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know why I happened to think of it. I was like, oh wait, we could totally just send a
we
message
just call him back.
Yeah.
This can be
Send a
a
message back.
dialogue.
Just star 69. What's going on?
You're dating yourself with that star 69.
As soon as he
Oh,
said
man.
something about like he doesn't drink, but like he knows to offer it,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't
Oh,
know.
he's a synth.
That was
Dirty.
my-
All right, let's do your XP questions really fast. So
Yeah.
keep track of your own. So participate in the session, yes. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further your personal agendas? Would anybody say you qualified for that? Okay.
No.
Risk or sacrifice something for your buddy PC?
No.
Who's your buddy PC, Adam?
Frenchie.
I would say you going alone on an alien planet onto the surface by yourself. You probably could have easily died.
Yeah, yeah, I'll count that.
Yeah.
And that might go towards my personal agenda too. Now that I think about the danger of being out there.
I'm just gonna toss it out there. Bud was willing to grapple a raging synth.
He was willing to do
For
it.
who?
Yeah.
He
He
did.
did do it, actually. No, you're right. He did
For
do it.
my
didn't
buddy Marshall.
he?
Yeah.
That's true. Okay,
He
yeah.
was trying to stab me.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Did you challenge or stand up to your rival PC?
I think Clover did.
I was friendly with my rival PC. I don't.
Okay.
Well,
You call him
with
an
that-
idiot.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you were definitely helping, but you still stood up to him in those ways that he annoyed you.
Panic roll. I think Clover, you did that. Anyone else?
I did.
Okay.
No.
Overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means.
Created a dangerous event using violent means.
I'll say the two of yeah. I'll say Marshall and Bud for the synth issue. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation?
Yeah,
I finally
so
have
at
the
the
thought
very
that
end.
we should communicate back.
I think the rest of you got that. They got that different discovery. So I would say Marshall and Bud get the dangerous event one. The rest of you get the significant discovery or revelation. Extraordinary action of some kind. No, not really. Earn any money? Not yet.
No.
Yet. But all right. So go ahead, spend your XP as you see fit. Whatever. We don't really need to do all the rolls and such. Let's do final plugs again. So see what people got going on this week. So Jeremy, tell them about that podcast of yours.
Oh, the Pludcast, PLEWD, where cool people talk about comics and other nonsense. Yeah.
Wait, there's cool people on that?
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, shut
I mean, Matt's there, so
Oh, okay.
Oh.
There's a cool
We
person.
talked about Hawkworld. Oh.
it's pretty good.
Okay. Cool. And Adam, what do you want to plug?
I want to plug the chapbook I'm making for Zweihander. It's called Radiator. And, if you want to get some inside info and some early access to a couple professions and an ancestry, you can come on to our Patreon, where we've got varying tiers of information you'll get. And even got an exclusive podcast show where you can see all the stuff, the development, everything like that.
Cool. Matt, what do you got going on this week for Free League?
Find me at twitch.tv/Free League Publishing. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. we have Thomas Herenstam coming on to do a live Q&A for Twilight 2000. And then later that day, myself and Jeff are going to be doing some Twilight 2000 at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Very excited. Very excited. I thought about just making Zmajewski again. I'm kind of
so good.
I'm kind of
Polish?
thinking. I think I should just make him like
I think you
Zmajewski.
should.
I think that's what I'm gonna do because I couldn't think of a name. I'm like, can I just play Zmajewski? He is Polish, so it makes sense.
He is.
That's great.
Do it.
It's
good.
It's a distant relative, maybe. I don't know. All right. Chuck, what's going on with Defenders?
Oh man. Well, first tomorrow night, Notorious DMG. We're doing some first ed D&D, 9 p.m. Central. Wednesday we got Rime of the Frost Maiden, but we're using Dark Trails to run it. That's on Defenders at 9 Central. Friday back on Defenders 9 Central for our Evil 5th Ed campaign. And then this coming Saturday we'll be on Free League Publishing for some Forbidden Lands. So yeah, and we still got our zines out there. Dan Dies in the End, Halloween 2020. And here in a week or so we'll have our new issue out, which is Jeremy Dies in the End.
Why?
So,
Very nice.
very exciting.
Very nice. I hope Brendan was thinking
I
about
hope
doing
so.
that. I hope so. I hope there's a Jeff in the background with a shotgun ready to shoot.
It's gonna be so great.
Okay, then Melissa and I, Adventures in Lollygagging. So I'm in a couple games here with Matt and Chuck, but also, thank you, Brendan. But also on Friday, right here on this channel, we're going to be playing more industrial science fiction horror suspense as we're going to play Those Dark Places. Rules Light by Osprey Games just came out about a week ago. Matt's holding up his copy. I don't have my copy in front of me at the moment. But you can check us out.
It looks just like that.
It looks exactly like that, except better. So Friday at 7 Central, you can come check us out here. And then usually we'll raid Defenders afterwards. So you get like a good 4 to 5 hours of straight wonderful TTRPG content on Friday. And then next Monday over on Free League Publishing, we're back to our Vaesen game. So, but that is us. We're gonna go ahead and put us on the end screen, but then I'm gonna go ahead and raid. I think there's a couple different choices. I'm probably gonna do Diesel's Shot this time because they were nice to us the other day and did the same. So we'll return that favor. But thank you for those of you who are watching live. Thank you for those of you who are watching later on YouTube or on VOD. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.